In 1978, a Chevy pickup's fuel tank exploded in a side impact crash, sparking lawsuits that cost GM millions. That's the raw history we're diving into on Titan X, where we celebrate the roar of American muscle and the trucks that ruled our roads. Today, we're counting down the 10 deadliest pickup trucks of all time. Icons that hauled heavy but hid flaws that could turn a routine drive into a disaster. From gas tanks that sparked fires to brakes that failed under pressure, these trucks were as dangerous as they were legendary. Let's roll through the stories behind these beasts and see what made them so risky. The Dodge D-Series was a powerhouse, with its swept-line design and near-indestructible slant-six engine. Safety, though, took a back seat. The steering columns could lock up or collapse in a crash, leaving no control. Drum brakes faded fast under heavy loads. This one's wild. Dodge's own 70s tests showed brakes losing grip after just 3 hard stops. Loose wiring sparked fires or left trucks dead on the road. The V8's deep rumble and bold style made it a classic, but those flaws were hard to ignore. The 55 to 57 Ford F-100 is a car show star with its curvy fenders and chrome shine, but it was no joyride in its day. The steering gear wore out fast, making turns a gamble at speed. Drum brakes struggled with heavy loads. Get this, crash tests showed the cab folding like paper in a head-on hit. The frame flexed under stress, messing with alignment and handling. Owners often added extra beams to keep the bed steady. That flathead V8 and retro vibes still steal hearts, though. Ever driven an F-100? Let me know. The Dodge Ramcharger was a beast, part pickup, part SUV, all muscle. Its removable top was great for open-air drives, but useless in rollovers, leaving the cabin flimsy. The high center of gravity and soft suspension made tipping over too easy. Here's a stunner. A 76 safety report showed it flipping in turns other trucks handled fine. Fuel tank leaks could ignite with a stray spark. The 440 V8 was a monster, but the brakes couldn't keep up. Some owners fitted roll bars for extra protection. You ever take a Ramcharger off-road? Tell me about it. The Ford Falcon Ranchero was a sharp-looking car-truck hybrid from the early 60s, but its car chassis wasn't built for heavy hauling. A loaded bed made the rear sag, throwing off stability. Steering was vague, and brakes were too weak for a pickup. This blew me away. Crash tests showed the cabin crumpling in moderate impacts. Owners sometimes welded supports under the bed to keep it level. The 289 V8 gave it some kick, and that sleek style screamed. We're halfway through the 10 deadliest pickup trucks ever made, and these rigs prove that power didn't always mean safety. If you're hooked on these tales of American muscle, hit that subscribe button for Titan X. More classics are coming your way. Let's keep this countdown rolling. A Toyota on a muscle truck list. The 79 to 85 Toyota pickup won hearts in the US for its grit, but it had serious downsides. Its narrow track and stiff suspension made rollovers a real threat. The cabin's thin doors offered no side impact protection. This shocked me. Early fuel-injected models could stall in cold weather, stranding drivers in bad spots. The 22R engine was a durability champ, but it couldn't fix the truck's safety woes. Owners loved these trucks despite the risks. Got a Toyota pickup memory? Drop it in the comments. The Chevy CK series dominated worksites from 73 to 87, with its boxy lines and thundering V8s. But those side-mounted fuel tanks were a nightmare. A side hit could make them leak or ignite, turning a fender bender into a firestorm. Here's a jaw-dropper. Over 300 lawsuits hit GM by the early 90s over crashes linked to these tanks. The steel frames didn't help. They crumpled unevenly, leaving drivers exposed. Some owners welded extra plates around the tanks to ease their worries. Those big block engines and rugged looks kept the CK a favorite, though. What's your take on the CK? Drop it in the comments. The 67 to 72 Chevy C10 Fleetside was a beauty with its long bed and chrome trim, but it had deadly flaws. Side-mounted fuel tanks could spark fires inside impacts. Get this, over 100 fires were reported by 78, triggering massive recalls. Steering was loose, and brakes struggled with heavy loads, especially with the 396 V8. Frame flexing made rough roads a challenge. Owners often added bracing to steady the chassis. The C10's workhorse spirit kept it iconic, though. You got a C10 story? Share it. The early Ford Bronco mixed pickup utility with off-road swagger, but its short wheelbase and high ground clearance made it prone to rollovers. The roll cage was more for looks than safety. Fuel leaks from old carburetors could ignite easily. This one's wild. A 75 study found it tipping over in turns other trucks breezed through. Brakes were underpowered for its weight. Owners sometimes added aftermarket roll cages for peace of mind. That 302 V8 was a gem, though. Bronco fan? Tell me about it. The 59 to 60 Dodge D100 swept line turned heads with its bold tail fins, but safety was a mess. The frame could crack under heavy loads, ruining handling. Steering columns collapsed in crashes, and drum brakes couldn't stop quick. Here's a shocker. Owners often swapped in aftermarket brakes for highway driving. Faulty wiring caused shorts, risking fires. The 318 V8 delivered power, and the swept line style was pure 50s flair. Ever seen a swept line in person? Let me know. The 1948 to 1956 Ford F1 kicked off the pickup craze, but it was a death trap by modern standards. The fuel tank sat inside the cab, behind the seat. A rear hit could spark a fireball. Steering was sloppy, and brakes barely handled an empty truck. I was shocked when I read this. Crash tests showed the body folding like a lawn chair in a head-on hit. Owners sometimes moved the fuel tank to the bed for safety. That flathead V8 and classic curves made it a legend, flaws and all. What's your F1 memory? That's the rundown, Titan X crew. The 10 deadliest pickup trucks ever built. These rigs defined American grit, but came with risks that left a mark. Which one caught you off guard? Drop a comment and let's talk trucks. If you dug this deep dive into muscle truck history, smash that like button and subscribe to Titan X for more stories from the road. Got a truck that deserves a spot on this list? Tell me below, and we might cover it next. Keep those engines roaring, and we'll see you soon.